According to the forest-dwelling practices at Wat Nong Ba Pong, at about 4 p.m., the monks and novices stop doing tasks and gather for Nampana after they have done with their daily routine and monastic tasks. Phra Ajahn and the novices gathered at the water pavilion for Nampana. Then Phra Ajahn divided the novices into groups to clean the nearby areas. Phra Ajahn assigned some novices to clean the water pavilion. Others were assigned to clean the toilet, the food hall, and the pathway. The novices did a sitting meditation to relax before the evening chant that night. Yesterday, the novices focused attentively on the evening chant.
The Buddha is our destroyer, who bestowed blessings on me. To the Buddha I dedicate this body and life, and in devotion I will walk.
The evening chant was conducted in a simple manner, following the forest-dwelling monks' simple way of life. During the Dhamma story session last night, the novices learnt a lesson of perseverance from the story of Mahachanaka through sand painting, accompanied by sand painting. Mahachanaka is one of the 10 Jatakas, which are the 10 previous lives of the Buddha before he was born as Siddhartha Gautama and later achieved enlightenment. This Jataka tale about perseverance was adapted for writing by the late King Bhumibol Adulyadej. Mahachanaka, the king of Mithila, had 2 sons. The first was Aritachanaka, who was brave and smart. And the second was Polachanaka, who was calm and compassionate. When the king passed away, the elder brother, Aritachanaka, became king, and the younger brother became his viceroy. After a while, a greedy minister made Aritachanaka suspicious of his brother by lying that Polachanaka would commit rebellion against him. So the king had Polachanaka put in jail. But with Polachanaka's merit, he was able to escape from jail and run away. After that, Polachanaka gathered his followers and conveyed a message to negotiate with the king, but the minister distorted it into a declaration of war. When the war started, Aritachanaka urged his pregnant wife to escape. The king battled with his brother to the death. the queen received help from a Brahmin. After a while, the queen gave birth to Mahachanaka. As he grew up, he learned various lessons and discovered the truth about his father, and so he intended to reclaim the throne. On his way, Mahachanaka narrowly escaped when a massive storm capsized his ship. He survived using his wisdom.
He mixed sugar and butter together and he drinks it all, and he gets a cloth and put oil and he wrapped around his waist, and he jumped into the water where there are many big creatures like big crabs and big monsters, and he just jumped over them, threw over them, and he started swimming.
Mahachanaka struggled to survive as he swam in the ocean for 7 days, until Manimekala, the goddess of the ocean, came to rescue him and carried him to Mithila. At that time, the kingdom of Mithila had no monarch. The ministers tried to search for a man worthy to be king by sending out a royal chariot. The chariot came to stop at a park where Mahachanaka lay sleeping. Mahachanaka was able to answer all the riddles that were put to him, and so he was granted the throne, married Sivali, and had a child with her. One day, while Mahachanaka was walking in the garden, he spotted 2 mango trees. One was full of mangoes, while the other was barren. He tasted the fruit and was impressed by its flavor. Once he left the garden, the mango tree was ruined because many people also wanted to taste the fruit. When Mahachanaka heard what happened, he realized that the throne was like the fruit, in that it was wanted by many. So he abdicated the throne and gave it to his heir. When the story came to an end, Phra Ajahn allowed the novices to ask questions.
Why did I have to put sugar and butter?
So he wouldn't get hungry because he had to swim for a long period, and he knew that he won't be going to find any coast near soon.
Before the day ended, Phra Ajahn had the novices do a sitting meditation. Before long, Phra Ajahn had the novices switch to doing a standing meditation. Before having them do a walking meditation in order to practice mindfulness. After the novices finished meditating, Phra Ajahn asked them which kind of meditation they preferred the most.
DJ? Walking. Ati, what do you prefer, standing, walking?
3.
You like 3?
Sitting.
Maybe tomorrow I can give you more sitting.
The story of Mahachanaka's perseverance that the novices learned through the sand drawings last night reflected how the results of one's efforts can overcome all sufferings. As the sermon states, Viriyena dukhamacheti, perseverance will lead to a freedom from suffering. Another day of training had begun. The novices were still learning about the practices of the forest-dwelling monks at Wat Nong Pa Pong. They were learning to let go and sacrifice during this last week of Let Go. As this is the rainy season, the community near Wat Ba Sai Ngam is filled with rain and has a sleepy atmosphere. The novices performed their monastic tasks and met with the Buddhists who were waiting to offer alms as usual. Although this is a daily monastic routine, the atmosphere and the obstacles the novice face are different every day, and they help to discipline the novices be in a proper monastic manner. Monks go for alms rounds to receive food in order to relieve their starvation, so they can do their duties without trouble. It is also a way for the laymen to make merit, eliminate their stinginess, and sacrifice their happiness for others. This routine is intended to keep a strong relationship between the household and the temple in order to preserve Buddhism. Though the novices had to walk on a dirty path, most of them remained calm as they held the bowls firmly. They continued walking and received offerings from Buddhist residents in the neighborhood, as well as those from different parts of Thailand who were waiting to offer alms. This was yet another lesson of let go for the novices to contemplate this morning. Many of the novices asked to assist Phra Ajahn after the alms round. Before breakfast, Luang Ta Anek mentioned the activities that the novices will be doing during the Dhamma trip to Wat Nong Pa Pong and Wat Ba Naana Chat.
ไปสู่อาวาสอื่นไปสู่ที่อื่นจุดหมายที่เราจะไปเข้าไปอนุสรณ์สถานก่อนอนุสรณ์สถานของหลวงปู่ได้ทำความดีมาเป็นที่ยอมรับของประชาชน หลังจากไปอนุสรณ์สถานแล้วเราจะเข้าไปกราบเจดีย์แล้วก็จะได้เข้าไปกราบหลวงพ่อเจ้าคุณต่อ
In addition, Luang Ta Anek also preached a sermon to remind the novices of their monastic status.
เราเป็นตัวแทนทางศาสนานะเป็นลูกเป็นหลานเป็นเหลนของพระพุทธเจ้าเราได้เครื่องหมายของพระพุทธเจ้ามาครองก็คือจีวร นั่นแหละจะมาจากบ้านไหนชาติไหนภาษาไหนท่านนี้ญาติโยมไม่ความสำคัญเท่าเทียมกันเอาอาหารอะไรมาเตรียมถวายเพื่อต้องการบุญเราอย่าทำให้ญาติโยมผิดหวังนะถ้าทำได้อย่างนี้หลวงพ่อก็ไม่ขาดทุนนะพวกญาติโยมทุกคนก็ไม่ขาดทุนว่าได้กำไรได้สร้างพระได้สร้างเณรได้สร้างบุคคลเข้าสู่ความงามต่างทางพระธรรมวินัยทางศาสนาเราก็ได้เป็นญาติพระพุทธเจ้าพุทธาญาติทำเหมือนที่พระพุทธเจ้าบอกธรรมายาติทำตามที่พระพุทธเจ้าวางไว้สังฆายาติปฏิบัติตามที่พระอริยเจ้าทั้งหลายประพฤติมาปฏิบัติมาอย่างไรเราก็ทำอย่างนั้นถ้าตั้งใจจริงๆนะหลวงพ่อว่าไม่ยากเลยขอให้เราตั้งใจเวลาก็เหลือไม่มากจะไปวัดป่านานาชาติก็เหมือนกันตั้งใจแล้วก็ทำตามสิ่งที่ครูบาอาจารย์ที่เป็นพระพี่เลี้ยงฉะนั้นให้พากันพูดง่ายสอนง่ายรับฟังตามง่าย
After listening to Luang Ta Anek's teaching, the novices thanked him and left to do their tasks. Then the novices spent a short time doing a sitting meditation to prepare themselves for the meal. In addition to the food that was provided, the laymen and laywomen also offered them noodles. Pra Ajahn asked about the amount of food each novice took this morning before allowing them to eat.
Okay, listen. If you cannot finish the noodle, then take it back, bring it back now. Now you still have chance to bring it back the noodle. If you bring it back the noodle, the lay person can eat. Otherwise, you not finish the noodle, you eat half the noodle, then the lay person cannot eat because you eat already half. Okay, if you not finish the noodle, tomorrow no breakfast. Or if one of you not finish the noodle, then all no breakfast.
To step away from worldly pleasure, refrain from comfort, and to step into Buddhism, the novices had to overcome the inconveniences of the body and mind, adjust themselves to the Vinaya and other rules, and practice intensely for many weeks. This afternoon, the novices had to practice outside, as they must learn how the forest-dwelling monks at Wat Nong Pa Pong live their lives. After the meal, the novices wash their alms bowls. The youth are given opportunity to do tasks that suit their age and will help them learn self-dependence and teach them to have compassion for others. They will be proud of their actions and also learn to be responsible for their duties. The Dhamma discussions between Pra Ajahn and the novices result in morals that are applicable for the novices' daily lives.
The difference is I need to pay respect to you more than my mom and dad.
That's not respect. You're just doing without respect. Respect is not just bowing. You have to have respect from inside.
After cleaning the alms bowls, the novices gathered in the food hall. This morning was more special than usual, as I and Ben, former novices from True Little Monk Thailand Year 2, came to share their experiences of when they ordained. Before the session started, I and Ben paid respect and offered nampana to Pra Ajahn. Then Pra Ajahn had I and Ben share their experiences. Pra Ajahn asked I and Ben to introduce themselves.
Hey, my name is I. I study in New Zealand. I went there for about 4 years now. And yeah, I was a little monk 5 years ago.
Hello, my name is Benjamin O'Neill. I study in England. I've just been doing computer science and sports and stuff for a few years now. I was a little monk 5 years ago.
Pra Ajahn let them share their ordination experiences with the novices.
My experience was pretty nice, and I find it really interesting being a little monk, and I learned a lot from there.
And my experience there was quite hard, but I got through it, so it was fine.
I shared the experience of his ordination with the novices.
I learned that you don't have to think that you can do it, you can just do it. Being a little monk is not easy, but when you get through it, it's really nice to know that you can always do it, no matter what. As I get more older and less help, I learn more of how it works.
Then Ben shared his experiences with the novices.
I learned how to control myself more, so if I get angry in any situations, I can control my temper and calm down. And I've learned I've learned self-control, so I can control myself calmly in every situation. If I've got a hard exam, I can calm myself down to do it.
Pra Ajahn asked I and Ben about the difficulties and challenges that they faced during their ordination.
They changed the thing so I can read it better. So we changed it into English so I can follow along with everyone else. But it was still quite hard because everyone was speaking super fast, so I couldn't keep up.
I shared the difficulties and challenges that he faced with the novices.
I know that one day I have to do it myself, all myself. So yeah, it is a good thing to know how to do it yourself.
They continued to share and discuss the experience of their ordination.
When I came to me and he told me that he wanted to ordain again as a novice, I just told him that don't ordain and stay in Bangkok so I can practice more and harder. So I invite I to Wat Pa Bun Rom, which is in Ubon Ratchathani. And why do you still decide to be novice for the second year?
Because I feel like it's quiet, it's nice and quiet because when I'm with my friend I always mess around and stuff, but then when I go back to the temple I feel like it's nice, it's calm, it's quiet. I can concentrate on things more.
พระอาจารย์ asked I and Ben what they had learned and how they had developed themselves after being ordained.
My school grade and stuff improved a lot after I go into temple, and when I even do my homework I finish it earlier because I can sit like still and concentrate more.
I've learned to, I talked about this like a few minutes ago, but I've learned how to like control myself. So then, yeah, in like hard situations.
Then Pra Ajahn gave the novices an opportunity to ask about ordination experiences that they would like to know.
How long do you meditate every day?
I don't really meditate, but I do some praying before bed and stuff.
Was there anything disturbing you while you were praying, or if you had a chance to meditate or something like that?
Yeah, my little brother, he's really naughty. He always like gets his Nerf gun and shoots me. Yeah.
Pra Ajahn asked Ben and I an extremely interesting question.
So you both return to New Zealand and England, which is not a Buddhist country. You live among like multicultural and like diversity of cultures. How do you live? How do you stay, and how do you like present? Or are there any of your friends who ask about like meditation or Buddhism?
Sometimes they ask about how we pray and stuff, and some of them ask me and they're thinking about changing to Buddhist because they found it really interesting, and some of them have already changed to Buddhist.
Our school teaches like Buddhism and like Judaism and stuff like that, so like everyone knows what it's like, so it's kind of fine.
Before leaving to prepare their requisites for the Dhamma trip this afternoon, Pra Ajahn let Ben and I give encouragement and advice to the novices.
Try to think of something you like and just keep thinking. That's when you can calm yourself down and
You try to think that you're doing it for someone, because if you don't want to do it, it doesn't work. So you think that it's for something that you like. So for me, I like sports, so I think it will help sports, so I do it for sport. And if I love my mum, I just do it for my mum. And even though you're walking, you can just pray for her as you're walking.
After the Dhamma session concluded, Pra Ajahn had the novices thank Ben and I for sharing their experiences with them.
Thank you for coming all the way to Wat Pa Sangam and telling us about your life, and also how many times you've been a monk, and telling us what you have done in New Zealand and all that other things.
So thanks for coming from all the way from your country to come here to help us in our special training in Tudong and help us and give us like Napana to give us energy when we're in this special training. Thank you for coming all this way just to talk to us and teach us all the things you did 5 years ago. It's fun being a monk, but you wake up very early and it's tiring too. But if you did it, everyone can do it.
Sadhu.
The monastic tasks which Pra Ajahn has trained the novices to do for many days were intended to prepare their bodies and minds for the Dhamma trip at Wat Nong Pa Pong and Wat Pa Nana Chat in just a few hours. This afternoon was different from all the previous days, because today the novices had the opportunity to go for their first Dhamma expedition to the 100-year memorial. The Prapotinyana Thera Memorial was established by faithful disciples of Ajahn Chah. The Prapotinyana Thera Memorial was established by the faithful disciples of Ajahn Chah to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth and honor his meritorious contributions. Once Pra Ajahn and the novices arrived at the Prapotinyana Thera 100-year memorial, Luang Ta Anek, one of Ajahn Chah's disciples, led the group to pay respect to the memorial. Then Luang Ta Anek explained the bas-reliefs around the memorial, which illustrate Ajahn Chah's earlier life.
นี่ชีวิตเด็กๆที่ยังเป็นเด็กหลวงปู่ชอบเล่นเป็นนักบวชเป็นสามเณรให้พวกเด็กๆรุ่นเดียวกันแสดงตนเป็นอุบาสกอุบาสิกากำลังนั่งให้ศีลให้พรเพื่อนที่ยังไม่ได้บวช
After having been ordained and learning the Dhamma, Ajahn Chah sought out a senior monk to teach him monastic principles.
นี่เป็นหลวงปู่ชาไปหาหลวงปู่กินรีไปหาครูบาอาจารย์ที่ศึกษาข้อวัดปฏิบัติกำลังแสวงหาครูหาอาจารย์นี่ผ้าขาดก็เย็บด้วยมือไปเอาผ้าเช็ดเท้าที่ภายในวัดก็บางสกุลเอามาก็มาเย็บมาตากนี่
While Ajahn Chah was staying at Wat Nong Ba Pong, he followed the monastic principles strictly. Even as he got older as time went on, he continued to practice the teaching of the forest-dwelling monks, which was, be a role model.
นี่เป็นวัดปฏิบัติที่ท่านดำเนินปฏิปทาเจ็บจัดปัดกวาดทำความสะอาดทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างถึงแก่เฒ่าท่านก็ยังให้ความสำคัญในการดูแลรักษา
After visiting the Prapotinya Thera 100-year memorial, the novices headed to Wat Nong Pa Pong, which was established by Ajahn Chah. It is a dwelling for Thutanga monks or forest-dwelling monks to learn about the Buddha's teachings. Wat Nong Ba Pong is an Aranyavasi forest monastery. It was founded in 1954 and is located in Non Pung, a sub-district of Warin Chamrap district. This temple was established by Venerable Ajahn Chah Supato in 1954. Ajahn Chah, along with his disciples, traveled to this forest and settled down here due to a request from his mother and relatives from Bengal, who asked him to come and visit them in his hometown. His relatives had Buddhist devotees build a dwelling for the monks out of bamboo and kogan grass, making it a suitable place for the monks to live and practice their monastic tasks. This shady forest then became a Buddhist forest monastery. Ajahn Chah set strict monastic tasks for the monks at this temple, following the strict monastic routines in the Vinaya. The simple monastic routines of Wat Nong Ba Pong ignited faith in both Thai and foreign Buddhists. Therefore, the monastery has hundreds of branches in every part of Thailand, as well as foreign countries. Each branch follows strict routines that Ajahn Chah set for them. Amid the greenery of the forests surrounding Wat Nong Ba Pong, the novices had a chance to pay respect to Luang Pu Liam, the current abbot of Wat Nong Ba Pong. A novice representative offered an oblation and handmade toothwoods to Luang Pu Liam. Then Luang Pu Liam preached a sermon to the novices on their Dhamma expedition.
ในโอกาสมาท่านก็ให้ไปดูหลายพื้นที่เหมือนกันไปดูพื้นที่โน่นพื้นที่นี่เพื่อเป็นส่วนประกอบของความรู้เราจะได้เอาไปปรับปรุงพัฒนารักษาเจริญฝึกหัดควบคุมตัวเองทางด้านจิตใจให้มากๆเรียกว่ามีสติมีสัมปชัญญะการดำเนินชีวิตทุกกับเบียดก็ให้มีความมีสติประกอบอยู่ด้วยถ้าคนมีสติถือว่าเป็นไปเพื่อให้เกิดความสงบสุขก็อาศัยอย่างนั้นอันนี้ก็ต้องคิดกันดังนั้นท่านจึงพานั่งสมาธิเดินจงกรมและก็มีส่วนของการเกี่ยวข้องกับการเป็นอยู่แบบผู้พอนั่งสมาธิคือทำใจของเราไม่ให้วิตกกังวลนั่นแหละขอให้ตั้งใจทำหน้าที่อันนี้ให้เป็นไปในรูปแบบเรียกว่าให้เกิดความเรียบร้อยก็จะเป็นบุญเป็นกุศลอย่างมากเป็นอุปนิสัยเป็นปัจจัยหล่อเลี้ยงให้เราได้มาซึ่งความเป็นผู้มีคุณงามความดีเป็นองค์ประกอบ
Before saying goodbye to Luang Pu Liam, Phra Ajahn Gewali summarized the relationship between Luang Pu Cha and Luang Pu Liam for the novices.
Luang Pu Cha, before he passed away, he was very sick for 10 years. And Luang Pu Liam looked after him. We say he upataked. He was the upatak of Luang Pu Cha. When he was sick, Luang Pu Cha couldn't speak anymore, so sometimes they had to guess what's the best thing to do for the sick teacher for many years. And then eventually he passed away. He passed away here in Wat Nong Pa Pong. And then all the monks came together that had lived with Luang Pu Cha, and they built the jedi, the monument, the pagoda, by themselves, and Luang Por led the building for a whole year.
Today's Dhamma expedition to follow the footsteps of Prabhupada Thera or Ajahn Chah Supato is just the beginning of a lesson about the Buddha's teachings and strict monastic principles according to the teaching of the forest-dwelling monks. There are still many things for the novices to explore during this last week of their ordination.